What is up, my fairy amigos? Welcome back to the channel, and I have it for you guys. A Black Ops 4 main Easter egg guide. I've been debating it for a while. Honestly, because Joltz already had them. He had all 4, or all 7. But I'm thinking to myself, I've done IW. I've also done some side Easter eggs on Black Ops 4. Why not just do the main ones? We're going to start with the easiest one of the bunch. 9. Despite my personal hate for this map, it's a very fun Easter egg. I just don't like how long it takes to start it up. Anyway, to start this Easter egg, we're going to start with the class and the weapons that you would need necessarily. Starting with the weapons, I'm going to have a little section for every time I do this category. And that is the Helion Salvo required? So in this case, do you need the Helion Salvo 100%? No, is the answer to that question. It is very helpful in some scenarios, but you do not need it. It's not a requirement. But if we're talking weapons that you would need, 100% weapons that are strong, the Spitfire, Hades, Zweihander, AN-94, Micro MG, anything strong for that matter. Now, in terms of the class setup, there are a couple things that you could run for perk-wise. The first 3 perks I recommend. One of the very few times I'm recommending Dying Wish. I don't recommend it half the time because of the charge-up time being so goddamn long. Time Slip. For sure you want Time Slip. And Stamina. And then finally the 4th perk. This is a toss-up. You can put whatever you want. I chose Victorious Tortoise, but I know for a fact Death Perception works for this also. We'll get to why in a second, and why it's very useful in this case. We're going to go on to the elixirs. You definitely want Temporal Gift, Equip Mint, and Stock Option. The last one is going to be Arsenal Accelerator so you can get your special weapon back. Let's go on to the other half of the class. For the specialist weapon, any one of those is viable. For the weapon of choice to start with, the Strife. 100% you want the Strife. And then finally, we're going to go with the Grenade Beacon Acid Bombs. Yes, you heard me right. Acid Bombs. Now, we're going to go ahead and start with the game. To start this main quest, we're going to be starting our challenge podiums in order to get the Pack-Punch Strife. While we're at it, during the entire game, we will be utilizing our challenge podium until we get some max ammos. But the first step, as always, is to activate the Pack-Punch. Go to the 4 towers, activate the gongs, kill the enemy type that spawns in to grab their heads, and put the heads on the stick. Now, when you activate Pack-Punch, the doors will open, and then there will be one tiny, tiny skull that opens up with one symbol on it. Now, this diagram you're seeing here is from Mr. Dog's guide, and it is really, really accurate. Let's put the Pack-Punch in the middle here. There are one underneath each symbol of the towers. There's one in the middle podiums here and here. One on each of the side walls, giving us 10. And then there's one above the stairwell here and here. Those are the only 12 spots it could be in. I'm showing these locations right now. These are more or less the exact locations because I have found these in these locations before. The only ones I haven't really found them at too often is going to be the side walls to the left and right of the Pack-Punch. I haven't found them there too often, but they do spawn there. Once you have that skull, or found that skull at least, you can't shoot it out. You have to activate your specialist right next to the skull. Doing so will pop out the skull, and then we can now grab the Death of Orion Wonder Weapon. Again, out of the box or the free one, doesn't matter. Once we have the Death of Orion, go to the Flooded Crypt, and then you're going to place it in a cauldron. Now, this cauldron spawns in one of 3 areas in this Flooded Crypt, but they're all really easy to find. The first one's closest to the stairs that lead out of the Flooded Crypt, and then the other 2 are next to the window where zombies can jump out of. To the left of it, and then to the right of it. What we need to do is use a charged shot from the Death of Orion to grind the gears of the machine once the skull is inside. If you have it not Pack-Punched, it'll be 3 times for a charge shot, but if you do have a Pack-Punch, it'll be 2 times for a charge shot. Keep that in mind. Now we're going to move on to the second part, which is going to be the poop. For the poop, you need to have negative crowd affinity. There are several ways to get this. In multiplayer, if you grab someone else's power-up that dropped from the crowd, you will get negative affinity. If the tiger does its lunge attack where it goes away from you and then pounces on you, you will get negative affinity. That's the weirdest one, but I have had it happen. Running through the fire, you get negative affinity. The easiest way to get negative affinity is those acid bombs. You need to throw the acid bombs into the crowd. So, throwing 3 into the crowd will lower it by half. Using your equipment, you should then get 3 more thrown into the crowd. It should lower it completely. Now, if it doesn't work entirely after throwing the 6 acid bombs, don't worry. You can get either A, a max ammo from the challenge podium, or B, get one from the zombies, or C, wait for the fire to come up, and you can lower it fully there. Once it has been fully lowered and smoking red down thumb, the crowd will throw an item at you. It's not going to be like a fastball of poop. It's actually going to be a jar of poop thrown out. Once you have that jar of poop, you're going to need some charcoal. For the charcoal, we need to wait till round 10. Now, I have thought about this. I was thinking to myself, can you use the gladiator that you need for this step from the challenge podium? And the answer is no. Main reason being because the step we're doing right now is the second step on the Sunset artifact. The first step is unlocking Pack-a-Punch. So we can't use the gladiator from that round for that reason. But in order to make this step work, we just need a gladiator round 10, and he needs to throw an axe at one of these wooden pylons. Doesn't matter which one. Once he throws his axe, you hear a dunk sound of sorry, not a dunk, but a sound of the wood falling off. Then you hear a dunk sound when you pick up the wood.
I'm not usually.
It'll fall on one of the random parts of the pylon. So when you see it, just go ahead and pick it up. And then you're going to take it to the bottom of the Odin Tower and hold X on the cauldron. It'll be placed immediately, don't worry. Now what we're doing is a round flip game. This is the reason I hate this Easter egg. This step alone takes 7 rounds. Yes, you hear me right. 7 rounds to start this Easter egg. Once you have placed the charcoal in, you have to wait 2 or 3 rounds until the wood is shown to be completely burning. If you pick it up, your character will say something like, oh, it's hot, or I'm used to it. That Bruno will say he's used to it, because Bruno's a man. But, not to sound rude to anyone who take that seriously, but, like, Bruno seemed to be the tough guy character. That's his character. Anyway, when you pick it up, you need to take all 3 parts you have and put it in the bowl in the Zeus Tower. You go to the bottom floor, go to that tile shelf, turn around, there's going to be a bowl on the shelf. Go ahead and place that there. It has to be in the same round you pick up the charcoal. As long as you have the other 2 parts before round 12, you need to place all of them on like round 12 or 13, depending on what time the charcoal is done. And you place it on the same round. If you don't do the same round, you're going to have to wait an extra round or 2, which really sucks if you ask me. And once you place it in the bowl and it's flipped 1 to 2 rounds, you can, this pile of charcoal, poop, and bone dust you've made will now be turned into fertilizer. You take this fertilizer, pick it up, and in the same time frame of the round flip, put it on the Dana tree. I'm emphasizing the round flip. If you don't do it on the round flip, you're going to be waiting excess amount of rounds you don't want to wait. So do it on the round flip, and then it's going to be around 16 or 17 with the gladiator round spawns, and this thing will be ready. Once it is ready, you need to make sure that your gun has firebomb. So Pack-a-Punch your weapon of choice and put firebomb on it. Once the round flips after the gladiator round and this pile of fertilizer that you had placed on the roots of the Dana tree starts smoking green, you need to get a zombie over the pile and activate firebomb on it. Luckily, it's always the first or second zombie in the round to spawn in that firebomb will activate on. Knowing that trick, make sure you lure it over top, and you just need to stand on these sets of cracks. Before we get into this, I highly stress getting the monkey bombs, or the homunculus, out of the mystery box. Highly stress. It'll come in handy for every step of this Easter egg after the fact. Once you have the homunculus, go ahead and stand on the cracks. You do not need to hold X. There is no need to. It does take a while, though. I think it takes like 5 to 6 seconds in order to activate this. Once your screen starts slowly flashing white, and then this priest will say something about the trial starting, you need to pop that stock option. Pop the stock option and throw a homunculus out to get all the zombies off you, and you need to kill this red spore you see on the tree. These are bullet sponges. Keep shooting the spore until it pops, giving you a max ammo. Once it gives you a max ammo, go to the next floor up, and do the same thing. Throw a monkey, and then shoot the spore until it gives you a max ammo. Now you could use the shield, any gun. I don't know if the Death of Orion works or not, but definitely the shield does work. It is very strong against this thing. If you don't have a stock option, or if you don't have a gun with enough ammo. Once you go to the top floor and shoot the final spore until it pops, no max ammo will spawn in, but we can definitely start with the next step. For the next step, we're going to be appeasing the god Ra. For Ra, the first thing we need to do, we need to find 4 bull symbols and shoot them with our shield. Now, the first one's going to be outside the Danu Tower. You can see it from the top floor. As soon as you finish the Danu step, it's going to be on the right side on the wall. The second one, you can go to the bottom floor of the Ra Tower. Look up into the cracked wall to the left of the sarcophagus from the stairs. You're going to see it there. The third one's in the Danu tunnel next to the Mozu wall behind that fence. The fourth one is going to be in the flooded crypt. You go to where you ground the skull. Yeah, where you ground the skull. And then to the entrance on the right side of the table. It's a really awkward one to describe. It's like right there. The fifth one is going to be in the temple itself. You need to go to the entrance that leads to the pit, and it's behind the fence line on the back corner. The next one's in the pit itself. Go to the shield table. It's on the zombie barricade to the right side on the wall there. The seventh one is going to be between the Odin and Zeus towers on the brick wall between the two. The eighth one is going to be on the side of the Zeus tower. You need to go to the Odin tower and go through the drawbridge. It's going to be right there on the side wall. And then finally for the last one, it's going to be in the arena. It's going to be behind the drummers that are above where you spawn in, on the back wall there. For this, you need to shoot these symbols with the shield. It just takes one firestorm shot. Don't need to spray it down with the entire thing. Just one shot will do it. And then what will happen is a gladiator will spawn in. Once this gladiator spawns in, you need to kill it one at a time. You'll know that these are the gladiators you want because they have extremely high health compared to the normal gladiators. Now, the reason I emphasize on killing them one at a time, mostly because back in the day when I was doing this during Black Ops 4's life cycle, whenever I just wanted to do 9, sometimes it would glitch out, and if you kill 2 at a time, it wouldn't activate the step properly, which is kind of bad. It really is. When you do kill it off, it will just rise up and start spinning in circles, and then it'll turn into a yellow orb for a soul for Ra. When you've killed all 4, the priest will say, Ra has awakened, and you can go up to the top of this Ra tower. Go to the top floor, and on the obelisk in the middle, there will be a blue symbol. This is a game of Simon Says. It's not the original Simon Says. It is the game telling you which zombie type to kill in the order it shows you. Now, this is where Undead Man Walking comes in handy. On the screen right now, I'm going to be showing you all 8 symbols that you can get for this step. Now, these symbols represent the zombie types. Like I said, you have a tiger, both brawlers, all 4 catalysts, and a Blightfather. Now, the Blightfather doesn't spawn until the second half. It's a 50-50 of spawning in. But for the first half, you just need to kill the zombie types in order. So in my game, I had Gladiator, Tiger, Water, then Fire. Notice that these symbols disappear as soon as they show up. They don't stay on the pillar. So have the cheat sheet out with you at all costs. And then once the 4 are done, the screen will flash white, and then you can start again. Now, if the crowd goes and kind of just boos you for the step, or if you shoot one in the wrong order, the obelisk symbol will disappear, and you'll have to flip around to start it again. This is definitely the hardest step. This is why I said Undead Man Walking would be crucial during this step. So the next phase, I got Gladiator again, Poison, Tiger, then Water once again. But again, the Blightfather is always a 50-50 chance on the second half of the totem. Keep that in mind. And so I shot those 4 in that order. And then once I've shot those 4 in that order, you'll hear this. And now we can go to the arena. And you'll see that the beam of Ra from the top of the tower is shooting down a beam to the lightning bolt in the middle of the challenge podium. We need to hold X in the middle of the challenge podium, and then it'll spawn us in the underground section of 9. What we need to do now is shoot 4 rivets into the ceiling using any gun. If you want to, you can throw homunculus at this point, or if you also want to, you can use undead man walking to slow down the zombies. That will help also. The first one's going to be next to the pit. It's that giant room with the water seeping down to the underground. The second one's going to be next to the fallen hero. This is the most awkward one to look for. So you go exit the fallen hero, look up towards the zombie barricade. You're going to see it there. The third one's in the Daniel tunnel where you shot the bull symbol next to the Mozu. And then finally, the last one's going to be next to the flooded crypt. It's in the area with the mystery box. You got to shoot that one up there. When you've shot all 4 up completely, the priest will say a great storm approaches. Now, we need to pack punch our guns to get kilowatt. So go ahead and get kilowatt on your gun. You need to go into the arena. In the arena, you're going to see these blue circles on the floor. These blue circles, you need to make sure you have zombies inside them. How this works is that these zombies need to be stunned with kilowatt. This is very specific. Stunned with the kilowatt effect. Once they are stunned, kill them to charge these poles. If you kill them instantly, it won't necessarily charge automatically. The Heliot salvo is good for this step, mostly because of the gladiators and brawlers. I know for a fact that it takes 12 zombies to charge up 1, or it takes 2 brawlers and gladiators to charge up 1. There are a total of 4, so you're going to need about 48 zombies or 8 gladiators. So if you get a max ammo round in this section, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you kill the gladiators and brawlers with the kilowatt. Once one of them has been charged, you'll see a blue orb on top of it be shiny blue. Once another one has been charged close to it, it will connect using a lightning beam. But once all 4 have been charged with all the souls, you're going to go to the middle where the challenge podiums are now lit blue, the one with your rewards. You won't be able to claim your rewards, but you will be able to hold X on this challenge podium. When you hold X on this challenge podium, the orb will glow red, and in co-op, all 4 players need to hold X on these orbs. Doing this will start the best step in Easter egg, where you have to fight off a bunch of gladiators, tigers, and brawlers. Luckily, the game gives you infinite specialists. The way this step works is that you will be given your specialist weapon. The duration of the specialist weapon goes as normal, but the more you kill tigers, gladiators, and brawlers, the more it refresh your charge rate. So in a sense, it is infinite specialists. So just keep killing everything that you see. This is why the chakrams are really good for this. That's why I'm using it in my game, because of that level 3 ability. But again, anything is viable, so you could use the shotgun from the Viper Dragon, the hammer, or if you put the level 3 scepter down, you can kill anything with the scepter, killing it. Again, the salvo would be good, but not required for this. This does last a while. I think it's like a minute or 2 of just fighting the gladiators. But once you finish, it will say Zeus has been appeased, and you can move on to the final step, where again, you will need the death of Orion. If you got rid of it, please grab it back. For this step, we need to shoot 3 symbols in order to activate a set of 3 symbols to open up a water drain. Now, these symbols only need to be shot in one particular spot every time, and you'll get it every time. I'm not exactly certain on the one in the Daniel tunnel. I'll try the best I could describe it. You need to stand like about this far away and shoot it right in this corner towards the raw tower stairs. That's where you need to shoot it at. Let's move on to the flooded crypt section. In this section, you'll see this broken wall here just past the KN57. And then you need to shoot it on like the far left corner of the symbol, right where I'm shooting here. And once you see the little blue orb activate on it, you can go to the last one. And then the last one is in the area close to the pit. Like, if you look at it directly, shoot it right in the middle, more or less. When all 3 orbs have been shot, a character will say, "Hey, I hear water in the pipes." And then you'll need to activate the final lockdown of the game, which is in the pit room. Simply stand on this pressure plate. Again, you don't need to hold X. It will not activate during a max ammo round. So if it's a max ammo round, go ahead and flip the round and then land on it. Now, in this lockdown, there are a total of 3 phases. The first one is zombies, tigers, I believe fire catalysts. The second one is poison catalysts, zombies, and brawls and gladiators. The third one is a tiger offense. Brawlers, Gladiators, and then a Blightfather at the end. Now, after each phase, there will be a max ammo. I think each phase lasts about a minute or two because you have a lot of zombies to kill. So in total, this step will take around 6 to 7 minutes, depending on how long it takes. When you get to the third phase, when you complete it, make sure to kill the Blightfather in the area itself. If you kill him outside, sometimes the key glitches out. You will not be able to grab the key. Also, with the third phase, once you kill the Blightfather, you will not get a max ammo like you would the other two. So, if you had your challenge podium up to level 4 or level 8 for the max ammo, go ahead and grab the max ammo, and now we're into boss fight. I would recommend grabbing a full shield, making sure you have all your perks. If you want to, you could grab something else like the Hellion Salvo for the boss fight. I hate saying it, but like the Hellion Salvo is really good against the boss, but you don't necessarily need it like it keeps saying over and over again. Anyway, to start this boss fight, just go ahead and hold X on the door that's on the opposite side of the arena with the portal, and you'll be teleported behind the Danu and Raw Tower into this little arena. What's going to happen first is that the priest will send in a bunch of gladiators and brawlers. And I mean a onslaught of gladiators and brawlers. Kill them all until you start seeing tigers. Once the tigers start spawning in, you can kill the tigers, but make sure you stay on your toes because the brawlers and gladiators will not stop spawning. Once the tigers have all been killed, Wrath will come in. Wrath is the guardian elephant. For the way these elephants work, there's going to be a gem on the side. You shoot the gem on the side using bullet weapons. You can be either your gun or the shield. The shield works wonders, honestly. You need to shoot this gem until the armor breaks, and once the armor breaks, the elephant's heart will be exposed. That's the area they want you to shoot, but the head is also just as effective and weak to bullets. So shoot them directly in the little symbol on their forehead, and you should be fine. You'll know you're finished when the elephant starts doing this animation right here. It will just kind of take a little bit to fall over, and when it does, these zombies will just despawn, and it'll start the next sequence. No, we're not done. I said that Wrath was the guardian elephant. The actual elephant, which is the second boss, which is Fury, will come out of the gates, barging. Now, I did try something here with this game that you see me on the completion. This is a little bit of a speedrunning trick, but it requires more players. If you stand here in front of the wooden pylon, the elephant will just get stuck, and everybody can shoot the elephant from underneath. If you want to see that video, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But it's the same thing, though. You break the armor, and then to get the warriors off of the elephant. Now, this elephant has a hidden effect called Blast You into the Sky. Yes, I've died to that. I'll leave a link to that one, too. I've also showcased it here. If you get blasted into the sky, you will activate Dying Wish if you're not careful. But it's just the same thing. Break the armor, shoot the heart of the head, and then once the elephant starts making this animation, you are done. You have officially completed 9's Easter egg. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And peace out.